Hey guys, hope you're having an amazing day today. My name is Steve. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today I'm going to be reading to the story of Dracula and Whitby, North Yorkshire, England. I think everyone watching this probably knows the story of Dracula. I think it has to be one of the most popular novels of all time. It's also been made into movies and TV shows. And obviously you see Dracula on cereal boxes and candy and all sorts of things. Dracula is very, very popular, and especially this time of year. As it starts to get into October, I definitely enjoy exploring this type of topic. Vampires and the paranormal and ghosts and just all sorts of interesting things like that. It's something about October that just really brings that interest out of me more than I even usually experience that. I always enjoy things that are a little bit more unusual and the paranormal and stuff like that, but October, it definitely kicks into high gear. And so I'm thinking this month I'm probably going to explore a number of different things within the UK and Ireland that are a little bit more, you know, this type of topic, mystery, thriller, paranormal or whatnot, maybe some cemeteries, you know, some stories. I don't really know yet. I guess we'll see what I find. But if you have any recommendations for that type of topic, please feel free to leave it in the comments. Whether it's an interesting story about something like Dracula, or whether it's ghost stories or haunted places or really cool cemeteries I should check out. Anything along that line, I'm very interested in checking out this month especially, but generally I enjoy that stuff year round. I just find it very interesting. I definitely got that interest from my mom. She's always been into that type of stuff. But anyways, guys, I obviously know what Dracula is. I've never fully read the entire novel. When I was younger, I did read some of it. I don't think I read the whole thing. I'm not 100% certain if I did. You know, I may have read the whole thing, but I know I read part of it. And I've definitely seen a Dracula movie and, you know, cartoons. And I mean, everybody knows Dracula is so popular. And so I wanted to kind of explore the story of Dracula and, and Whitby, where supposedly Whitby is the place where the inspiration for Dracula came about. And so I've had a lot of people actually recommend that I check out Whitby before as well, and just the North Yorkshire area in general. And so I thought this would be an interesting way to kind of explore Whitby and the North Yorkshire area in kind of a different way, learning about that area when it's in context of Dracula and the inspiration behind Dracula. So anyways, guys, don't really know what to expect here, but I think this is going to be very interesting. So let's just go ahead and dive in and check out the story of Dracula and Whitby.
Hi, thanks for clicking through to watch my latest video. And welcome inside 6 Royal Crescent on Whitby's West Cliff, the building where the Irish author Bram Stoker
He was Irish?
during the years he wrote his world-famous novel. In this video, I'm going to visit some of the famous locations from the story that have made Whitby synonymous with Dracula.
I wonder what he was doing in Whitby. Was he there just to write the story? Or was he there, did he move there for some other reason? Wow, man, that's beautiful. Looks like a very quaint seaside town. Is that, I've seen that on another thumbnail. Is that an abbey up there? Oh, look at the cemetery. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh, I love this cemetery. Up on the hill like that, that is a very cool cemetery. What a cool looking town, man. This is very quaint. I love these little houses here and these. I think that's a very old church. You got this really cool graveyard up here.
For as long as I can remember. Some of my earliest memories are here, and the connection with Dracula is something I've pretty much always been aware of. I remember coming here on a primary school trip and running around the graveyard up at St Mary's Church, looking for his grave. But recently, I found out that a lot of people still do that. So much so that the church has had to put a sign up explaining his grave isn't actually there. So, here I am to explain the link. This seemed the ideal place to start. It's where Bram Stoker stayed with his family the first time he came to Whitby in 1890, and is now run as a holiday let.
I didn't even realize it was that old.
It reminded me of the video I did on Eden Camp, where you feel like you're sitting in a significant part of history. Today, I'm going to take a wander from here down to the riverside, across Whitby's famous swing bridge, visit the beach where Dracula washed up, and then head up to the graveyard.
Firefly, how short is life? I dreamt we
That'd be a really cool place to stay. I don't know if that's an Airbnb or if that's just if that's for rent, but that'd be a really cool place to stay, especially if you're a writer, man. Give you some really cool inspiration.
This before, and I have lived more than
Bram Stoker, 1847 to 1912, author of Dracula, stayed here 1890. 6 years. So did it take him 6 years to write this novel, or is that just how long he lived there total? Was he living there even when he wasn't writing the novel, is what I'm getting at.
plenty.
Is this one house? There were 4 stories? There's only one door. It's a huge house, if so.
Now lend me to the ocean. Sing my songs when I'm gone.
Let's start by addressing and calling out one small detail for those still unsure. Dracula is a fictional story. You'd be surprised, but it is a story that plays a massive part in the modern history of tourism in Whitby, right up to the current day.
Oh, wow.
In May of last year, to celebrate the 125th anniversary of Dracula's publication, at Whitby Abbey, English Heritage broke the world record for the largest gathering of people dressed as vampires, ensuring the legacy of Dracula
guys,
lives on.
I gotta see this. Wow, dude. That is, oh my goodness. I love old buildings like that. I've especially since I started this journey and seeing some of the really cool churches you guys have in the UK, I'm in love with old church architecture. It's just amazing. I'm really curious about this. What happened to, how old is this and just what happened? It's like mostly fallen in. Like there's no roof anymore. The windows are all gone. I don't know. I'm thinking this had to be some inspiration for Dracula because, I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just got that, I don't know, that vampire, that spooky look. I love it. I would totally love to visit this place. I might should check out a video just specifically about the Whitby Abbey because that's an amazing structure.
Dracula's Bench, installed in 1980 as a memorial to Bram Stoker. Arguably the best view in Whitby, and not difficult to see how it would inspire and influence a talented author. So, who was Bram Stoker and why Whitby?
I love this
Stoker
coastline.
arrived at 6 Royal Crescent in July 1890, when it was then run as a guest house by a Mrs. Vesey. He had already written 2 novels set in his native Ireland, but the new one he was working on was set in Austria. The story goes that Mrs. Vesey liked to clean his room each morning, so he'd stroll from Royal Crescent down into the town. On one of those mornings, Stoker walked down to what was known as the coffee house end of the quay, now the Marine, and entered the public library. He was researching the history and geography of Wallachia and Moldavia, which is present-day Romania, and was intrigued by stories of the notorious 15th century ruler Vlad Tepes, commonly known as Vlad the Impaler,
Vlad the Impaler,
which was trademark of impaling his enemies alive on wooden stakes. Stoker also discovered that Vlad's father, Vlad II, was known as Vlad Dracula, or Vlad the Dragon.
No kidding.
Stoker noted that Dracula translated as devil or demon. Stoker continued his research in Whitby, being inspired by much of the local folklore, an example being the black dog, believed to be the harbinger of death, which Dracula famously turned himself into when he arrived in Whitby. He also...
So Dracula the inspiration for Dracula came from Vlad the Impaler. Okay, I didn't know that. I've heard of Vlad the Impaler, but he's not something I'm really that familiar with exactly his history. I know that he was he was a fierce individual. That's about all I know about him. And I definitely need to learn more about him. He is Romanian, right? I have to check him out. But this town, it's very interesting. Definitely beautiful, quaint seaside town. But there's something mysterious about this place. Maybe it's just the Abbey and then the cemetery, man. It's just a very interesting looking place. It's kind of got a little bit of a spooky vibe, but I like it a lot.
Found inspiration from local history and weaved this into his story. 5 years earlier, there had been a shipwreck of a Russian vessel called the Dmitri from Narva. This ran aground on Tate Hill Sands below East Cliff, carrying a cargo of silver sand. With a slightly rearranged name, this became the Demeter from Varna that carries Dracula to Whitby with a cargo of silver sand and boxes of earth. So, although Stoker was to spend another 6 years on his novel before it was published, the name of his villain and some of the most dramatic scenes in the story were inspired by his holiday in Whitby. Now that we've covered the origins of Dracula, it's time to have a bit of fun and delve into the story. When it comes to the horror genre, I've always had a soft spot for vampires. My favourite on-screen offering being the American TV series True Blood, and I think Whitby would be the perfect backdrop to create something similar. In Dracula, we're introduced to Whitby through one of the main characters' journal, Mina Murray, in Chapter 6.
24th July, Whitby.
The view from this spot inspired Bram Stoker to use Whitby as a setting of part of the world-famous novel Dracula. See, it was erected by Scarborough County. Okay.
Lucy met me at the station, looking sweeter and lovelier than ever, and we drove up to the house at the Crescent, in which they had rooms. This is a lovely place. The little river, the Esk, runs through a deep valley, which broadens out as it comes near the harbour. A great viaduct runs across with high piers, through which the view seems further away than it really is.
Oh, wow.
The Abbey and St Mary's Church are soon introduced.
Oh my goodness, dude. Sorry for stopping, guys. Look at these tombstones. Okay, I know a lot of you may not be as interested in cemeteries as I am, but I love cemeteries. Just, walking through a cemetery is just like walking through history. And it's just interesting to look at the different dates and what's inscribed on the tombstones and just kind of see what you can learn about the people and speculating who these people were. And there's just some kind of energy you get from a very old cemetery. And this one looks amazing. Look at these tombstones. Oh my God. How old are these tombstones? This looks incredibly old. I might need to do a video just checking out the Abbey and the cemetery here. Is this so this is Whitby Abbey. Is this Whitby Cemetery? Or what is this called right here, the cemetery?
It's where Mina and her friend Lucy spend much of their time. It's also here where they meet the ill-fated Mr. Swales, who we'll meet again later. For those of you who know the story, the beach over there is Tate Hill Sands, where Dracula arrived in Whitby. For those of you who watched my previous videos, this is where the Krampus run begins in December.
This looks like a really cool town, man. It's just got a mysterious vibe to it. I definitely want to visit Whitby now.
Any of you watching who have read the story and are familiar with Whitby will recognise the path I'm taking today mirrors that taken by Mina as she dramatically races to Lucy in the middle of the night, when her sleepwalking takes her up to St Mary's Church and Dracula. This is the spot where Dracula first arrived in England. From down here you get a good sense of the height of the surrounding town and up to the churchyard.
Wow. So this is St. Mary's Church, right? I believe that's what he said.
Dracula's arrival in Whitby is described in the novel through a newspaper cutting.
The Daily Graph, 8th of August, from a correspondent, Whitby. The searchlight followed her, and a shudder ran through all who saw her. For lashed to the helm was a corpse, with drooping head, which swung horribly to and fro at each motion of the ship. No other form could be seen on the deck at all. A great awe came on all as they realized that the ship, as if by a miracle, had found the harbour, unsteered save by the hand of a dead man. But strangest of all, the very instant the shore was touched, an immense dog sprang up on deck from below, as if shot up by the concussion, and running forward jumped from the bow on the sand, making straight for the steep cliff where the churchyard hangs over the laneway to the east pier so steeply that some of the flat tombstones, thrusteens or through stones, as they call them in Whitby vernacular, actually project over where the sustaining cliff had fallen away. It disappeared in the darkness, which seemed intensified just beyond the focus of the searchlight.
The story then
Wow,
spends a
man.
small amount of time in Whitby, predominantly set here and back at the Crescent, before it moves on away from the North Yorkshire coast.
Okay, hearing that, I think this would be an excellent audiobook to listen to. I think I might do that. I think I might download Dracula in audiobook. Hearing his voice was perfect, man. I could close my eyes and just really envision that story, man. All right, I think I might do that.
If I tell a lie, or if I speak the truth, tell me, baby, what?
Oh, dude, I love that cemetery, man.
To meet a woman
That is such a beautiful cemetery to check out.
Or if I have to plead, or if I have to fight, or if I have to bleed, if I tell a lie.
Going back to what I said at the beginning of this video about so many people asking staff here where Dracula's grave is, they've recently had to start displaying a sign telling people there isn't one.
Please do not ask staff where Dracula's grave is, as there isn't one. I mean, that is definitely the sign of a really great novel, something that was wrote well over 100 years ago, and people, it has actually made people believe this fictional character, although inspired by an actual person. It really makes them think this fictional character is real and has an actual grave in Whitby. That is the sign of a very, very, very good novel. Absolutely.
Which brings us back to Mr. Swales. Dracula's first victim in Whitby. Swales, which is an old Whitby family name, can be seen on this grave and is why Bram Stoker chose to use it. Meaning, if you do visit this place, this is the closest you can get to Dracula's grave.
The first victim
that's
was
the story of Dracula and Whitby. Next time you're here, check out the places I've covered and get the obligatory photo on Dracula's bench.
All right, guys, great video. Definitely makes me want to explore the story of Dracula more. I'll probably actually download an audiobook version of Dracula. I think that'd be a really cool way to experience this story, but I have definitely got to visit Whitby when I'm in England. It just seems like a really cool city with a very mysterious vibe. I really love the Abbey and the cemetery up there. But I'm really curious, how old is Whitby Abbey? And I guess that's Whitby Cemetery, or maybe that is St. Mary's Cemetery. I'm not really sure. Please let me know in the comment section. But either way, I also think St. Mary's Church, if that's what that church is called, the one that's still intact, I think that'd be a really cool place to visit. Like I said, I really love old architecture, and especially church architecture. It's just something about it really fascinates me. And I've discovered that about myself since I started this journey, because you guys in the UK have such amazing old structures. And, you know, I really don't have that type of structure here in the US. And so it's something that I very, very, very much appreciate now that I'm seeing these structures more and more on video. Definitely want to experience some of these places in person when I get over to the UK. But anyways, guys, like I said, Whitby seems like a really cool town. Definitely plan on visiting there now. I had a lot of people recommend that I check out Whitby, and now I know why. It's just got a very interesting vibe to it. But I definitely need to explore Whitby a little bit more. I kind of want to know a little bit more about Whitby, more than just the Dracula side of things. I want to know more about what else is there in the town and things. So please feel free to leave your recommendation in the comments about anything about Whitby or anything about mysterious stuff. You know, like I said, this time of year, I really enjoy checking out the paranormal and things like Dracula and, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. So please feel free to leave that stuff in the comments, guys. But anyways, guys, really cool video. Enjoyed this. And thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow me on my journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Until next time, guys. Peace.